MOUZ Sports were the first team to qualify 3-0 to the playoffs of the first CS2 major. One of the youngest squads in Tier 1, the starting 5 is younger than the organization itself, and so it is fascinating to see how quickly these 5 have clicked and began showing results. They now have a chance to become the first major winners of CS2, and I wanted to watch how 2 of the star players of MOUZ played during their winning series. Map 1 will be focused around Torzi. On round 1 of Overpass, Torzi buys armor and is given dualies by Shui. Him, Shui, and Brolin stay towards A, with Brolin going over towards long. Torzi makes his way down the connector, and Jiggle peeks her information. Complexity are moving up long fast, and as Brolin goes down, Torzi walks back up, still holding down the shift button. As the execution goes down, he picks up the speed and makes his way back over towards site. He spams the smoke and drops the bomb, while the rest of his team helps secure the other 2 on the bomb site. He kills Floppy and is traded by Halzerk, and MOUZ win the first push round of the series. On round 2, Torzi buys MP9 and head armor, opting for no grenades. He heads back over towards the connector, and hears movement middle, so he averts his attention back, avoiding detection, and allows Complexity to cross over, continuously looking back just in case someone pushes him in the connector. Brolin drops one of the members of Complexity, and off that, Torzi takes a peek and picks up 2 in the round. His teammates would go on to win the rest of round 2. On round 3, Torzi buys an AUG, along with the Molotov and a smoke. AUG, among Oppers, seems to be making a resurgence in CS2. He plays more aggressive in the bathrooms, holding a wide angle on towards middle. Unbeknownst to him, Complexity are over towards B, and his teammates get picked off, forcing him to rotate over. He hesitates on the rotation for a second, but decides to just go for it, as the game is now a 3v3. Torzi is up in heaven, and decides to play it really slow, waiting for one of the members of Complexity to potentially push up heaven. Brolin picks up a frag, and that initiates the retake as the advantage is now for MOUZ. From heaven he gets Floppy, Brolin sticks the bomb, and Torzi provides the assistance as he drops a leech, and MOUZ go on to win the first gun round of the game. Round 4, Torzi drops the AUG to Jimmphat, and purchases an AWP for himself. He throws a nade over mid, and falls back to watch connector. The game is brought to a 4v4, and eventually the advantage is given to MOUZ, as Jimmphat picks off JT, so Torzi decides to just fall back on his site and watch long and bathrooms from there. He smokes bathrooms and then goes for a long peek, continuing to hold it. Torzi finds a lead who takes the peek long, and now his attention is brought back over towards bathrooms and A short. As the smoke fades, he catches Halzerk, and he goes to the re-peek and is dropped by Grim, and Brolin, who was rotating across from long, finds Grim as he pushes up on his site, and he gives MOUZ their 4th. On round 5, Torzi decides to switch up his spot and supports B from the heaven position. He even makes sure to check for a potential 4-man boost spot. Once again, Torzi is fast in his rotations as his teammate make contact on the other bomb site. The game is eventually brought onto a 3v3, and he's back on A site with an AWP. He throws another smoke bathrooms, and he goes for a peek long. 2 of the members of Complexity are congregating around the long area, attempting to walk up slowly. He spots the bomb on the back of Grim, and while Floppy is holding the boost angle, Torzi is prepared for it, and he picks up the 2 Complexity members over towards long. Torzi also finds a lead, shutting down the 5th round for Complexity. By round 6, Torzi has a 206 average damage per round and is 11-3. He goes back towards B site, and he goes for an aggressive peak monster. He gives away his AWP position by shooting across the smoke, as he just barely spotted the legs of JT. He spends a good majority of the round holding this angle onto water. Complexity are getting ready for a B monster hit, and as Torzi turns around to drop a Molotov, they peek him, and he gets killed without getting a kill of his own. The site gets lost, and Complexity are finally able to pull up 1 on the board. On round 7, MOUZ has had to take a timeout, and Torzi goes all out with his purchases, buying an AWP, basic Kevlar, and a few nades, leaving him with $0. After the timeout, Torzi is back in bathrooms. Wary of the boost onto mid, he misses a flick onto a lead as he peeks, forcing him to fall back onto the A site, especially when Brolin gets taken out in connector, who is hoping to give him support. Torzi is not needed this round as Jimmy and Sui equalize before it's brought to an eventual 2v2. Torzi stays around A, unaware that the bomb is really on B. Jimmy is the one who steps it up this round, and anchors B perfectly, giving MOUZ their 6th and forcing Complexity to timeout. On round 8, Torzi is playing mid and wants to get aggressive, but a flash deters him from peeking further. He moved over to watching long, and at 1 minute and 6 seconds, him and Brolin set up in the bathrooms. Halzerk walks into Torzi, and the fake is detected, so the 2 run back to B, catching Complexity as they try to push in and shut down the 8th round on regulation, as Torzi wins a critical 1v1, shutting down a potential Grim clutch. On round 9, Brolin and Torzi both molly mid, and Brolin goes down connector. While Torzi was cautious of the boost mid on round 7, he didn't react in time this round and was caught off guard. Roland would eventually get caught off guard in the bathrooms. The advantage is now for Complexity. However, unknown to them, they're walking into a full MOUZ stack, with Exertion's MP9 saving the day, winning yet another crucial 1v1. On round 10, Complexity called another timeout, hoping to change things up, but Torzi remains the same as he goes back to the bathrooms. Roland goes down in connectors, so now his attention is diverted elsewhere, and he stays behind on A when it becomes a 3v3. He's on A site by himself as the 3 members of Complexity are now beginning to walk over on the site. He catches a lead, and as Halzerg attempts to push the smoke, hits a nice flick shot onto him, forcing Grim to change his game plan before he is eventually dropped by Exertion. On round 11, Torzi goes for an aggressive mid peek and falls back after not catching anything. He falls back to bathrooms and eventually falls back even further onto the A site. He picks up a smoke that was left on the floor for him and eventually uses it to smoke off bathrooms. Complexity throws smokes of their own, and Torzi hops up on the cube and drops Grim as he sees him pass the smoke. 3 members of MOUZ on the site. Torzi re-peeks after a missed shot onto a leech. It even gets the last kill on the round on JT. Last round of the half, Torzi switches things up and plays up long, gets on top of this generator and has Complexity peek into him. However, Brolin is there and trades for 2, and just like the rest of the game, MOUZ are fully prepared for Complexity, who end the half with only 1 round to their name. In the first round of the second half, Torzi buys armor and is dropped to P250 by Shui. Him and Exertion move up and take a lot of space. The bomb moves down towards mid and they're getting ready for a connector pop. As they open the door, Torzi expects a flank and catches Grim on the rotation. This kill triggers the execute onto B. Torzi runs up with the P250, drops straight T, and finds the last kill on Floppy Water, giving him 3 in the round and helping secure match point for MOUZ. Torzi can't afford an op, so he buys out on an AK and few nades. Torzi holds this monster smoke for a good portion of the round, and as it fades, he pushes up and catches Floppy on the entry in unison with Brolin, who clears the rest of the site, and with that, MOUZ win map 1 of a best of 3 against Complexity 13-1. While Torzi was undoubtedly the star player of map 1, for map 2 Ancient, it would be Jimmy who would be the standout player for this map. Jimmy buys just regular Kevlar. Him and Exertion walk up mid and eventually T upper into cave. The B execute comes in, and while Floppy finds Exertion, Jimmy finds 3 in response. It is eventually brought down to a 1v1, Torzi versus Grim, and while Grim taps the bomb, Torzi doesn't budge and plays the time needed to get Grim off the bomb and win them round 1 of Ancient, giving them 3 pistol rounds in a row. On round 2, a long timeout due to Complexity's coach and his headset malfunctioning, but after, Torzi buys and throws the T upper smoke, and MOUZ know Complexity are attempting to take mid control, so they let them have it and hope to catch one of them off guard pushing a smoke. Jimmy holds these flashes ready at any time for them to pop, but eventually gives up, and while his team takes mid control, he moves by himself into the A main. Exertion finds 2 openers, and Jimmy is good for 1 in the round, with the 2v1 finisher giving them the conversion round. On round 3, Jimmy stayed alive, so the AK is still on his back. He throws a nade mid as he waits for a push. He eventually moves up towards upper and turns around to catch one as Complexity try and push ramp. Jimmy picks up 1 kill this round, and the round is later won by MOUZ. Jimmy plays back on the outside while Torzi moves up A main, scoped him with his op. Jimmy throws a flash to set up a mid hit. MOUZ get the kills and slow the pace down. Exertion catches Grim attempting to walk up, and Jimmy mollies out Floppy and sprays down the last member of Complexity needed to secure round 4. On round 5, Jimmy and Shui push fast through the mid smoke, and Jimmy finds the entry on JT. Jimmy stays in mid and even finds Halzerg and Elise in the donut before being killed by a flank from Floppy. On round 6, after a CT side timeout, Jimmy and Exertion clear A main fast with the bomb on Jimmy's back. Halzerg finds the op pick on Exertion from CT, but Jimmy finds the immediate trade on him, and even kills a lead who is attempting to stop them from donut. JT just barely makes noise in donut, which triggers Jimmy to turn around and take the duel, and as he sticks the bomb, Floppy peeks from donut, and he finds his 4th in the round and 6 in total for MOUZ. On round 7, Jimmy throws a supportive mid flash, helping Exertion find another opener, and then he falls back and holds for an A main hit. Exertion has moved up deep in top mid, and so the rest of MOUZ move and regroup with Jimmy towards the A main. Complexity are on the rotation, and Exertion finds Halzerg, and Jimmy is quick to react on Grim on the boost spot. By this point, MOUZ are rolling in money, so even if they lose the following round, they would definitely be able to afford without even needing a bomb plant. Jimmy by round 8 is 14-2 in terms of kills and deaths. Him and Exertion begin to take the mid control again, with the smoke going out top mid. Complexity are playing 2 in donut and pick the 2 of them off, finally giving them the advantage, and Complexity are able to convert the rest of the round into their favor, with Torzi being forced to save his op. On round 9, Jimmy holds for an A push as MOUZ begin to slow things down this round. Exertion moves up mid and Jimmy regroups with his team over on B ramp. Floppy gets traded by Jimmy and Exertion catches 3 on the lurk, and Torzi finishes the round denying 2 in a row for Complexity. On round 10, Hausrick finds Exertion early, and so MOUZ is put into a 5v4 situation off the bat. Complexity keep their advantage throughout the round with 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Shui catches a player getting aggressive from mid, and that gives them a 3v3. Bomb goes down and Jimmy posts up in the cave. Grim exposes himself with the pre-fire, and Jimmy is ready for him to take the duel. Brolin even throws a flash from mid, completely blinding Floppy, which allows Jimmy to catch a second frag in the post plant. On round 11, Jimmy watches the A flank and catches the leash, trying to get aggressive early in the round. He continues holding and Grim walks into his crosshair. Exertion and Torzi pick up the final 2 to put them at 10-1, a repeat of game 1. Round 12. Last round of the half, Jimmy and the rest of MOUZ attempt to break through this A main smoke, but as the nade hits, a flash is thrown at them and so they fall back. Shui and Torzi get control of B site, and the post plant is in their favor as they now go into their second half 11-1. Jimmy plays over towards Zona, only purchasing basic Kevlar. Complexity perform a B hit and are successfully able to take the second pistol round from MOUZ, who decide to save on their armor and not add onto Complexity's economy. Just on a side note, I think it's really funny that on Complexity's own map pick of Overpass, they were able to get only 1 round, but on MOUZ's pick, they doubled their rounds and got 2. But anyways, on round 14, MOUZ opt to force buy into this conversion round with only a smoke on the hands of Shui. Jimmy and Torzi push A main, making a lot of noise in the process. Grim hears them and walks right into Jimmy's crosshair again, all while Exertion is holding the B site down, preventing a hit. MOUZ win their force buy round and are now at series point. Full armor, utility, and guns for MOUZ. Complexity congregate around the B ramp, sending no one towards A. Elige walks up mid, barely avoiding making contact with Jimmy, who didn't even need to see anyone that round as Torzi and the rest of MOUZ killed the last remaining players of Complexity, winning them the map 16-2, the series 2-0, and becoming the first team to qualify for the playoffs of a CS2 major. The sky is the limit for this MOUZ roster, and as far for Complexity, it is back to the drawing board as they failed to make playoffs despite being up 2-0 overall. They would go on to be eliminated 2-3, continuing to lose to Vitality and FaZe Clan to finish their Copenhagen run. Complexity had 3 chances to make it to the Copenhagen playoffs, but sadly it just wasn't enough, and they will have to try again in Shanghai.